Hi, I'm Joel Persinger from Practical Defense Systems. As you are probably aware, there's a lot more people in California getting concealed carry permits than ever before. That's a great thing. Training, on the other hand, is not necessarily available to these folks on a regular basis or all over the state. Well, in San Diego, we've solved that problem by acquiring a Milo brand law enforcement simulator and offering classes for folks who purchase guns for home defense or are carrying guns because they have concealed carry permits. Here's just a short clip of the active shooter response class we taught last week.
Come on, get out of there. Keep going. Run. Get out of there. Come on, get out of there. Run down the hole. I'm going down there. Run down the hole.
All right.
There.
Good job.
Good job.
You're working it off as you hear gunfire, right?
Right.
And you make a decision whether you're going to go in or not. That whole thing took 14 seconds. That's how fast things went down, okay? Now, obviously when you go in here, here's this guy, right? So you have a situation where now the active shooter pops out and he's engaging somebody else there, right? Is there a risk here in some ways? Is there a risk? How good of a shot are you is the question sometimes, right? Kind of going back to what you were saying about like the frangible ammo. Are you that good of a shot to where you can take it and take out the bad guy? That's another considered shot placement, right? This is a great shot, by the way.
I
Great
shot 1,000 rounds this week with the stuff he taught me.
There you go.
So I'm getting better.
Yeah, no, that is a great shot, and it's a hit. It's a lethal hit. You took him out immediately, okay? But as we discussed, so bad guy drops, okay? Now all of a sudden, you have a second shooter that pops out, right? Okay, you fired.
Did I hit him?
The third shot was a hit.
Okay.
Right? But again, going back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, is this a much further shot? He's far down the hallway, right? Again, how good of a shot are you? What are your capabilities? How are you engaging these folks? And again, this was a good shot, but it might take you more than one shot. But again, you see this door?
Yeah.
Who's in that office?
We don't.
That's a consideration, right? We're responsible for every round. Again, you took him out. Great job.
I took him out because he pointed a gun at me.
Exactly.
And so he was going to shoot at me, so it was either me or him.
100%.
And so I did
He
the
did
best.
shoot at you.
Yeah, he did.
So I did the best I could.
No, and that's why I'm saying, so if you put yourself in that situation, right?
Yeah.
So initially you said, hey, I'm not gonna go in.
Right.
That would have been your first decision.
Right.
But for the purposes of the class, we want you to go through these scenarios. So now you're in it, so now once you're in it, and you have to engage that person. You have to fight back, right? Because now you don't have a choice. Because if they're shooting at you, are you gonna shoot back? 100%. Again, luckily these guys had handguns, but we're going to run through some scenarios where they have more than that. And that, again, that goes back to consideration, right? Does that make sense? Anything else? Anything you saw? Anything else you saw that would have maybe changed your decision?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I mean, once I'm in it, there was nothing to do but take him out because he was going to, he did shoot him.
Yeah.
And then I wish I had shot him sooner, but I didn't see the gun because he came from behind there. I just reacted as quick as I could.
Yeah.
Somebody could have done it quicker. That's as quick as I could.
But
The second guy, I just didn't see any alternative.
Yeah.
I had to shoot. So.
and the other risk you run is somebody just comes around the corner and they don't have a gun.
Right.
But they surprise you, right? Oh,
And I think you took time to assess.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
You took time
It
to.
looked like a blonde-haired girl.
You took time to assess whether that guy had a gun or not, because,
did.
and It wasn't until he came around the corner, it wasn't until you saw him raising the gun at you
But
that you fired.
the other consideration is, and obviously there's some limitations to the room, right?
Yeah.
But could you have gotten behind this?
Yeah.
A lot of times, this is not cover, but sometimes it's hard to hit what you can't see. So if the shooter can't see you, they can shoot through it, but that's something where you could have moved out of that person's line of sight, right? So don't think you can't move right or left. You should be moving at all times. And then the last piece I would share is most of us tend to shoot static, right? You know, okay? In most cases, in these types of situations, you're gonna be moving. And how good are you at moving and shooting? That's a skill. That takes a little bit to get, and a lot of times they teach us, especially in tactical environments, like heel to toe, right?
Yeah.
So you keep yourself steady,
Right.
and they taught us that in law enforcement and in the military, how to shoot and move and communicate. And that's the one thing we haven't talked about, which we will talk about a little bit later. But let's say you're with a friend or your spouse or somebody else who you also know is a concealed carry. Or is that now a force multiplier? What do you think?
Yeah.
Does that change the situation though?
Yeah.
If you're good at working with that person and you got a
Communicating-
team thing going,
Yeah, absolutely.
Could be, right? It could be.
but if you don't know the guy, you could both fumble over one another.
But maybe in this particular situation, you know bill and accounting, but you only know bill and accounting. You don't know their skill level. You don't know a lot of things about them.
Right.
You only know that bill and accounting is a concealed carry holder.
Right.
And you guys talk while you're getting coffee in the cafeteria.
Okay.
Does that make a good team? I don't know. Again, another consideration.
Right after we taught that class, we had a class on home defense and had a whole lot of students in that one. Everybody seemed to love the class and learn a ton. If you'd like to take a class with us, check our schedule at pdsclasses.com. There is a link in the description. We're also offering classes for churches, and we're customizing those if a church approaches us with a group of people so that we can provide them with the information and the training that they want for their church safety team or church security team. So if you have an interest in that, please contact us directly. We'll set up a time for your team to go through the courses, and we'll help customize the course for your church. Once again, you can reach us by going to the link in the description or giving us a call at 619-663-6811.